Christ-Centered Journey for the Advent Season. The Christ-Centered Journey is an additional ministry of Christ-Centered Community Church of Clifton, Illinois. For more information, please visit our webpage christcentercommunity.org. Our prayer is that you will be blessed and encouraged with your walk with Jesus. And now here is today's Christ-Centered Journey devotion with Pastor Dan Shipton.
Well, good morning. We do welcome you to this edition of the Christ-Centered Journey as we are looking at the Week of Peace, Advent's Week of Peace, a time of remembering that, Jesus came into this world. A lot of people like to think of the fact that, it was a peaceful night in Bethlehem and that in peace, the Christ child was born. So, peace. What does it really mean? I mentioned in my sermon on Sunday that you can hear people want peace, whether it's at a beauty pageant or whether it's at world gatherings of leaders. Everybody claims they want peace. Peace. You hear it everywhere. But what really is peace? Peace, for a lot of people, they get this idea that it means the removal of any problems, the removal of any pain, the removal of trials. That would be a peaceful life. And in reality, that's not what we're talking about at all. Peace is something that is inside of us, something that God gives us. And peace is important to our lives. There's the peace of God that helps us, and it is inside of us. And as I thought about the peace of this Advent season, the world was looking forward to the coming peace, as Isaiah promised the Prince of Peace would come. And in the New Testament, Jesus promises this peace is yet to come to completion. It hasn't come completely yet. It's began, but it's not here completely. In John chapter 14, as Jesus was preparing to go to the cross, he says these words to the disciples, which are words for us to still hold on to. He says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I am going to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me. And you also will be with me where I am. You know the way to the place that I am preparing." Now the disciples will ask him, why we don't know the way. And he said, you do know the way. If you know him, you know the way. And here's the thing. When we read in Revelations chapter 13 about the beast trying the world and the bad things that are happening because the beast and the dragon are representations of Satan and people who are evil trying to control the world, it says clearly in chapter 13 of Revelation that it's all those who follow. The whole world runs after this false person who's falsely proclaiming peace against those who are believers or followers of Christ. And so we need to remember peace is not necessarily the removal of turmoil or the removal of pain or the removal of loss. Peace, as Jesus says here, is something that can come within. It's the fact of knowing that Jesus, yes, he left his disciples, he's left us in this world to continue his work, but he's going to prepare a place for us. Peace is knowing that there's something more to come beyond the pain, beyond the suffering, beyond the hurt. And I think sometimes that's what we forget. When we're in the midst of some pain, when we've lost our job, when the economy seems rough, when pandemic seems all around us and we feel like we're hurt and others are going through it, it seems like we're the only ones going through it because our pain is so big we can't see or feel that peace. But in reality, when we sit down and we think about the love of God, the sacrifice, the fact that Jesus was born, yes, he was born in obscurity, but he became the teacher that he was supposed to be. He became the sacrifice that he came to do. That was his whole goal. And that was so that we would have peace with God, be able to follow God, have this relationship with God. And when we have that relationship, it's inside of us. It's something that helps us through all times. When I think of peace, I think of the many stories, such as Corrie ten Boom and others, who suffered even in Nazi prison camps, many of their relatives dying, and yet their hearts could be at peace. And yet, when she spoke later in life, she could forgive those who had caused the pain because she was at peace in her heart. Not because of her human nature, but because Christ had come within her and given her that peace. You can have that peace today. A peace that helps you through the situations. Doesn't remove everything, but helps you through. And that's what we do when we put our faith in Christ. It's a faith and a peace that also reminds us that one day we will have a permanent peace in heaven, and there will be no more tears. As we read in chapter 21 of Revelation this week, they'll be wiped away. And we'll be in heaven with him forever. May God bless you today on your journey with Christ. And may you trust him and put your faith in him as you follow him.
Thanks for joining us for the Christ-Centered Journey, an additional ministry of Christ Center Community Church of Clifton, Illinois. For more on our church, visit christcentercommunity.org. Sunday services begin in person at 10:15 Sunday morning at the pastor's home. Online services begin around 10:30 Sunday morning on YouTube and Facebook. May God bless you today as you continue to seek Christ on your life's journey.